You saw Jared Bernstein, head of the National Council on Economic Advisors. He could not explain how the central bank actually works. It was mind-blowingly painful to have to watch this. And then there's this guy. Do we have this, Drew? Because this guy was actually former head of the House Budget Committee, a congressman, Democrat from Kentucky, and he's really clueless because he thinks you can just go and write bad checks. He's like, oh, it's like a game. We're like the banker in Monopoly. Direct quote. I'm going to play it for you. We are like the banker in Monopoly. We create the money. Everybody else just plays the game with it. Is that not inflationary, ladies and gentlemen? Here it is. The guy, he's no longer there. He resigned last year, thank goodness. But he was head of the House Budget Committee.
So then the question comes, if you can't find the resources to do it, what do you do? And this is part of a much longer topic that I'm not going to discuss today. But it's about making some recommendations. One is, we don't need to find ways to take money from people to pay for what we need to do for people. In this country, because we issue our own currency and because we borrow and spend in our own currency, we can pay for whatever we want to pay for. We just tell the Treasury to pay the bills. You write the checks when the bills come in. And you say, well, what about the debt? $28 trillion. Are we piling it on our grandkids? No, we're not. We're not. This is standard, I will say, conservative rhetoric. And even some Democrats parrot it. Oh, we're putting it on our kids' credit card. We've been accumulating debt in this country for 230 years. Not one person has ever been asked to pay for his or her grandfather's profligacy, right? Never happens. The paper's saying this, I'm sure, when the national debt reached $1 billion under Abraham Lincoln. I know they were saying it when it reached $1 trillion under Ronald Reagan. I heard all that stuff back then. So $1 trillion under Reagan, it's now $28 trillion. Has anybody been asked to pay part of that debt? No, because we don't have to. But yeah, we have a sovereign currency. We are not like businesses. We are not like families. We are not like state governments. We are not like local governments. We don't have to balance our checkbook. We are like the banker in Monopoly. We create the money. We hand out the money. Everybody else plays the game with it.
Whoa! Thunder. So he said this when he was still head of the House Budget Committee. That's from 2021, summer of 2021. I keep that handy because I like to remind you guys what you are up against. Morons who do not understand money. I mean, they're going to turn us into the Weimar Republic, right? With chat like that. No, actually, I'm sorry, guys. You know what? Money actually does have to be worth something. It really does. You can't just pretend you're in a giant game of Monopoly. I mean, it's bad enough. Every time I go to my local diner, I find out that blueberry pancakes cost even more. Even more. It's crazy. Prices are going up and away. And we know that inflation is off the charts. It's crazy. It's one of the reasons why I'm so happy to support Americans for Prosperity. Because prosperity is possible. You can see them at prosperityisimpossible.com, or you can go to americansforprosperity.org. I'm so proud to have them on board as a sponsor of this show because these guys, I'm telling you, they get it. They understand economic policy, and they're trying to make sure that we don't have this crazy inflation like we do right now. So you're not paying 50% more for eggs. You're not paying 40% more for energy. I mean, it is out of control. Mortgages up 66%, rents up some 22% since Joe Biden came to town. All right. Not good. He has no clue what he's doing. He's got a bunch of hacks in charge to the point where Stan Druckenmiller has to go on CNBC and say, this guy deserves an F. Bidenomics deserves an F. I mean, he is bad. He is bad. And the Treasury is bad. And the Fed is bad. And the whole lot of them. And you get, at least this guy's out of there, the guy from Kentucky, head of the House Budget Committee, that somehow thinks this is a giant game of Monopoly. It's like Never Never Land. Yeah, that's going to catch up with you. And it's going to bite big time. As Stan explained, you know what? People are going to actually divert their money. What? bond markets, treasury markets, and they're not going to put it into innovation. And you want the innovation to continue. I mean, think of the magnificent changes that we're seeing in innovation. I consider the fact that I'm here right now with you guys doing this show. Have you subscribed yet? Drew, can we put that subscribe button back on? Because it's important. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. I see that I see Ian and I see Don getting after you guys saying, hey, wait a second. Where are the subscribes? You got to subscribe and you got to like. You got to like. We are over 1,000 on the likes. So excellent news. Mike O'Donnell pointing out we are nearly 35 trillion in debt. Look, it's not sustainable. And the interest on this debt is massive. And so we're now getting into an environment. Rob and I talk about this a lot. In fact, you should go and follow 76 Research as well if you can. At 76 Research is the YouTube channel, because I'm going to be on there in just a few moments. We're going to be continuing the conversation about debt and deficits and how kind of screwed we are, right, as a population and as an economy, because this is not sustainable. It's just not.